We are joined by Leafs defenseman Tyson Barrie. Tyson, welcome to the show. How you holding up? Where are you holding up, by the way?
All good over here. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm in Victoria.
Nice. Back home in Victoria. How have you been passing the time? Obviously, it's been difficult for all of us. Have you and the dog got along? What's going on back in Victoria?
Oh yeah, Ralph's in heaven here.
Nice.
It's actually weather's been great. So we've been hitting dog walks and going to the beach. It's been pretty nice to have good weather and just kind of not be so stuck in the house. So just like everyone else, just trying to stay in shape and not go crazy.
How many Leaf fans on Twitter are hitting you up saying, "Be ready"?
I'm sure everyone's getting the same. I don't try not to check Twitter too regularly.
Is it starting to feel though like momentum is gaining where you might be able to get back into a Leafs uniform and back on the ice as a league?
It certainly seems that both sides are committed to finishing this season, and I mean whether. It's tough with no dates and stuff in place, but I think just from the attitudes of everyone involved in it, it certainly seems like we're going to finish the season off and get to do some playoffs.
Tyson Barrie, Leafs defenseman here on Tim and Sid. Tyson, given a moment to reflect here, and I know there are much more serious things going on in the world, but I think a lot of athletes, given time to think about their own situations, have done so. Given time to reflect on your time in Toronto so far this year, I mean, we're talking a coaching change. You're adapting to a new team, adapting to a new market, then a 2-month break. Oh, yeah, you're going to be a free agent in the not-too-distant future, and that free agency could be 2 weeks for all we know. What have you made of this year in this market and in one of the most important professional years of your life?
Yeah, it's been an interesting year. I think going back to the day I got traded, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, and then you throw a pandemic into the mix near the end of the season. It's really hard to kind of wrap my head around what's going on for myself, over the last, call it 10 months. So very, very grateful to be in a position that I am and be able to play a game and make a living doing it. So I can't, I have to keep that in perspective, but certainly interesting times going forward.
I know that it hasn't gone exactly according to plan in Toronto, but does it feel like whatever the end of the season looks like for you or the end of a playoff or whatever it is, does it feel like it's a chance at a new beginning for you?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, I think, he's obviously got off to a rough start there and was able to turn things around a little bit, but I think a big reason why they brought me in was to, take a run at the playoffs, and hopefully we get a chance to do that. And, I get a chance to chip in and help this club take that next step.
Tyson Barrie, the Leafs here on Tim and Sid. Going back to the start of the year, Tyson, there's some coaches and players just don't mesh. It happens. Sometimes it's no one's fault. It just happens. If you had a different coach to start the year, do you think it would have been different?
That's a tough one. I think we, our styles may not have matched up as well as I think both of us would have liked. And but it is tough moving teams. And, I was in Colorado my whole career, and then to switch and not be as comfortable in my role and my role on the team. And there's a lot of things that go into it. So for sure the coaching change helped me kind of get back on track, but I don't think it's fair to put anything on just a coach.
What has Sheldon Keefe done to help you refine it, if anything at all? Or has it been you just figuring out? I mean, obviously joining a new team is difficult, and playing the minutes that you play makes it even more difficult, and being asked to be a defenseman in the National Hockey League, all of these things add to what makes it difficult. But has Sheldon Keefe done things that have allowed you to find a kind of a new lease?
Yeah, Keefer's great. He's such an intelligent hockey guy and a good person. And we communicated right when he got there, and I just tried to get back to jumping into play, being a threat, and getting involved more offensively, and not being worried about giving up too much defensively and just kind of play the game that got me to where I was. So he really encourages, puck possession and movement in the O-zone, and I think that really, kind of got me back on track.
Right.
Tyson Barrie, Leafs defenseman here on Tim and Sid. There's a lot of conversation, Tyson, about a lot of things. The one thing that keeps popping up when you talk to players specifically is the sanctity of the postseason. Whatever it would look like, whether it's a 24-team format going forward, round robin into 16, there's a lot of players who want to make sure there isn't a huge asterisk on the end of this, because obviously then what's the point? If you're going to win a Stanley Cup, you want it to be respected by others down the line who have won cups in the past. Do you think there will be an asterisk on something like this, however it looks? Or will 16 games, 16 victories needed to win the entire thing be the same in this format and as tough in this format as in another format?
Yeah, I understand. I understand the argument, and I think that it's just such unprecedented times right now. It's hard to, if we want to play hockey again, unfortunately, it's not going to be in the traditional sense. So things are going to be different. I think that a Stanley Cup awarded this year will, in my opinion, if we get to play the full playoffs and 4 best-of-7 series, I don't see why it should have an asterisk next to it. Obviously, there's things that you could argue about, but I think if we want to get back playing, we're going to have to come to terms with the fact that it's going to be a little different, and we're all doing the best we can to get back playing, and that's going to be our best case scenario. So I think once you're in the grind of the playoffs, it's certainly going to feel it's going to feel like the playoffs. I mean, it would be nice to have fans there, but like I said, it's kind of out of our control at this point.
If we get to a Stanley Cup final, I want to just smash that asterisk idea. Before we even, like, if you survive and get through a global pandemic and we're able to get back and playing hockey in some way, shape, or form, and you end up getting to a Stanley Cup final amidst all that, I think you've gone through the gauntlet. Like, I think we're good.
Yeah. No, I think mentally this has been a lot tougher than the last 10 games of the year, so I think mentally it started to turn into a bit of a grind. So if we fire back up and get right back into that level of playing, it'll be hats off to whoever can hoist it at the end of this.
Do you think it's going to be sloppy hockey when you guys get back? Is it going to be up and down quick? Like what I'm trying to. I think
that's why we're planning on a couple of weeks of camp and then hopefully some sort of warm up games or exhibition or whether it's regular season, whatever. I'm sure the first game or two will be it'll be like the beginning of the season again. We've taken them 2 months off so far, or, 9 weeks or whatever it is. So I think it might be a little floppy to start.
Do you think that favors a team maybe like yours that has some young legs on it?
Totally. I think we're youthful. We've got a ton of skill and a ton of speed, and I don't see any reason why there's another team that should have an advantage on us coming back.
If they allow the 24 teams into this play-in tournament, however it plays out, Tyson, are you cool with that? Because I would assume there's some guys around the league who are like, wait a second. I think some might think 16 is too many. Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like I said, I think I have trust in the Players Association and the NHL that they're going to do the right thing and make it as fair as possible. And I think they're trying to generate revenue and figure out the best ways to get back some of the revenue we've lost. So if 24 teams is the answer to that, then so be it. I think if you're going to win the Stanley Cup this year, you're going to have to go through some tough teams and some tough games. So everyone's going to be in the same boat.
Hey, Tyson, we know it's been a difficult time for everybody. We really appreciate you taking some and joining us here on Tim and Sid. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
Thanks, Tyson.
There is Tyson Barrie of the Toronto Maple Leafs.